My name is Denise Bromley with DB3 Unlimited Services. Over the last couple of weeks, I've received several questions from some of my business partners as well as clients wondering how can they successfully manage their risk during the COVID-19. So much so that I thought it was a great idea to create a short video for other businesses that may be dealing with that same concern. So welcome to my first installment of Denise's Risk It or Not. It's kind of a spinoff of Believe It or Not. So whether you provide a product or a service, there has always been the need to evaluate liabilities in conducting your business, whether it was from employee injuries, slip and fall accidents from customers, product liability, you name it. But now COVID-19 is creating a new issue. And that issue is how can we operate safely and avoid potential liability from employees and customers who may contract the virus while in your establishment. With so many states lifting restrictions to reopen, I am hoping that many business owners are hitting the pause button and taking a deep dive into whether or not they're fully prepared to reopen their doors. Based on legal principles, every business has an obligation, and that obligation is to exercise reasonable care for the safety of others. Therefore, as a business, you're required to take steps to avoid harm to others. Now, considering that COVID-19 is easily transmitted by asymptomatic people, the risk of contracting it is foreseeable, which is another legal principle of evaluating liability. So as a business, you also have an obligation to provide a safe environment, not only for your employees and your subcontractors, but also your customers. So what's the solution? I don't think there's one solution. I think you need to fully evaluate your business and how you do business. But an easy solution is to provide warnings about the coronavirus in your establishment. So accurate and timely posting of these warnings, as well as the placement and legibility, is critical. So you probably have seen some examples of this if you've gone to the grocery store. On the floor, they have implemented reminders of 6 feet distancing when you're in line. I've also seen some stores change the traffic flow on aisles to only allow it one way versus two-way traffic. Other signage that I've seen is that you're required to wear a facial mask before you enter an establishment. We've seen this before the COVID-19 in the restrooms where they put up signage saying employees are required to wash their hands before returning to a shift. So whatever signage that you decide to put into your establishment, the key thing is make sure it's legible and make sure it's placed in an area that is highly viewed. My last recommendation on that is get them professionally made. I understand if you're in a rush to reopen and you probably handwritten some of these signage, but you want your signs to be durable. My second solution is to enforce safety procedures. Now, each business has a responsibility already before COVID-19 to ensure that its premise is safe for the purposes of conducting business. Now, you normally do that through an inspection and repair. COVID-19 is no different in that, but once again, it does depend on the nature of your business. Part of your safety procedures could be creating physical barriers to stop the transmission of the virus between your employees and customers, or between customers and customers. If you do utilize physical barriers, you need to make sure that you have a process in place to regularly clean those barriers. That's not something that we should delay to once a week or maybe even once a day. I would probably say every hour on the hour while you're in operation. I also would recommend regular monitoring of your employees before shifts to check to see if they have symptoms. The big thing here is to remember that whatever safety procedure you decide to implement, it should be designed solely for the purpose of the safety of your employees and your customers. The last point I want to make is stay in the know. As a business, you need to be up to date on current events relating to the coronavirus. It is constantly evolving. And so the easiest way to do that is to network with your trade or industry partners on a weekly, if not daily basis to see what best practices they're utilizing and which one fits your business model. And if you haven't done so already, I would recommend you call your insurance company just to go over your liability exposures and to check and see if there's any exclusions that were not foreseeable. Maybe you need to make some changes if you're going back into the operation of your business. Well, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this short video. And once again, this was my first installment of Denise's Risk It or Not. And hopefully you took the risk and joined me today. See you next time.